Hey guys. Hey my friends, welcome to my channel. Today I will show you how to make this effect. It looks very nice, but you can see it's very simple. If you use Blend geometry nodes a lot, you will easily tell how to make this effect. In this tutorial, I will show you the full method to make this, and I will tell you the compositing is the most important part. Okay, first we need to build the cone. The cone is mostly the sphere. First is the inner core. It's just a sphere, like this. Just make it a smaller. 0.2 is okay, I think. And join them with all other geometries I will build later. So the second, I still use the sphere, but I use icosphere because the shape looks much more nicer. So if you go to this mode, it's called wireframe mode. You can see this sphere, UV sphere is like this. Icosphere is like this. It looks much nicer. And I add a subdivision like this. It looks nice. So the second layer is this sphere. And I will turn this sphere to curve. And turn the curve to tube. So I will give it a scale like 0.005. Smaller, make it smaller, and join geometry, join them together. So this is the second layer. And between the first layer and the second layer, I will have the third layer. I will copy the second layer here. Just add a new node, and it's called dual mesh. So what it will do is, check here, it will turn all the triangles here into a new shape like this. So I connect here, connect in between them, and make it smaller, like the radius 0.7 here. And then I may add a subdivision to make it look better, like this. So these are the basic structures, and let's go to the solid mode here. So then I will build the like particles around them. So here I will use the curve circle, and I will instance on points, and I will build some points over here. So connect points to points, curve to curve, and I think to make it much more obvious, I need to connect this to join geometry for us to see what happened here. We have we have a curve circle here. So we may make it bigger like this. We have only one here. So if I increase the count here to 10, I will have 10 circles here. And if we check here, you have 10 instances here. Next problem is how do we separate them to give them different scale and different rotation. Here I will use set instance transform. So you can notice there is a pink socket here. So this means it's a metric dat. So we need to use metric. Let's see, combine transform. This is a metric dat here. Connect them together, then I can like edit the rotation and the scale. At the same time. So first I use a random value here, connected to scale, so they have different scales. So I may tweak the values here, maybe give the minimum 0.5, maximum 2. So it will be look like this. Then use a similar method to tweak the rotation. So, but here I need to use a I don't know if I need this node. You can see I can tweak the rotation of them. So if you want to tweak them separately, you can use this combine XYZ. If you don't, you can use just a random like me. So I give it a negative 0.1 and positive 0.1 like this. And I may need to make the radius of the curve much bigger, maybe give it 4 bigger, and this maybe looks better. Okay, then I need to add an animation. I want the circle curve to move, to rotate. So the method is to add something here. I use the mass vector here. So add it to rotation. And I use scene time here connected to vector. And you can see rotation like this. So it rotates too much fast. So I use mass node here. So multiply maybe 0.1 to slow it down. So it looks much better. Then next step, I need to turn the curves into points. First, you can see there are many like sharp edges, many spikes like this here. So I first need to make it smooth. So I set spline type to nerves, so it looks smooth. Then I will resample the curve, maybe 500 points here. Then next step is to turn the mesh its curve. Yeah. So first turn. I need to check if there are. Yeah, we have a curved points here. So we tweak the value here, 1000 points. So we have the basic points here. Yeah, this is the basic particles here. And I will add another layer. This is the fourth layer, and I will add the fifth layer. So I draw a new node from here, from the set spline type, from the curve. So I will use curve to tube here. And it should arrow because here from here, its instance, you can see here, it's there are 10 instances here. What I need to do is add a realize instance to turn instance into geometry here. So then there is no arrow and there is geometry here. I can tweak the scale, use the random here. You can use the random or not. It depends on you. If you use random, you will have this effect like 0.01 and 0.01, maybe 0.05. You will have this shape. It will make this effect look maybe more organic. If you don't want that, just use this value 0.0, maybe 5 like this. And next step is distribute points on faces. So you will have these points. So we'll increase the density here. Maybe more. Yeah. Then we will join the points together, the fifth layer and the fourth layer together, and join them to the join them together. So we have these points, and I think these points are too big, so we need to set the radius. And the radius is still too big. I use a random value here. 0.005. Yeah, that's good. 0.001. And I think maybe that's good. Maybe, yeah, you can see inside there is a particle, outside there are particles. We can see the curves move, but the particles, I need to add more animation. So here I want the circle curve to rotate by itself. So I need to add in the beginning. Yeah, in the beginning, if you took the value here, it will change nothing. So what you need to do here is add a transform here. So you can take it from here to get the rotation. And I choose Z axis. You can see by taking the Z axis, it will rotate along this direction. It looks much better. So I use Command X, Y, Z to extract the Z axis and use scene time. And as always, we will need a mass node here to get the strength of this scene time. Maybe 0.1. Let's tweak. No, too small. 0.3. You can see it's rotating and spinning at the same time. So, and I think that's good. That's what we need. So we build the whole tree, like, yeah, geometry tree, like this. And remember to save them. So when it comes to material, I will show you by this preset file. So here you can see I set material for all these branches. I combined the fourth and the fifth into one material. So you can see particle inside and the cone. Yeah, inside the cone is inside. This one is the cone, and the inside is this one, this structure, and the particle is outside the particles. So when it comes to shading, you can see the cone. I just use the noise to add some blue color, give it to the cone. And inside you can see I also use noise, and I use the frame here. I add a driver here to make the animation. And you can see I use the ramp and emission. And when it goes to particle, you can see I use particle info random. So here we can use the random in Blender 5.0. It will affect the particles in the geometry node system. So give it emission random. So I will have like two colors in the particles. So this is the default effect. It looks boring, I think. So if you turn on the compositing, you will see it's very different. So that's what I see. The compositing is the most important part. And let's go to compositing and click render. So you will have this. And then let's reconnect this layer to this. Okay, preview. So you can see I have many glares here. So what I use most is blue. I use many blue, and my threshold is 0.1. Because if I turn off some of them, you can see only one blue is not enough. So I use a lot. A lot is much better. If I turn off some of them, it looks boring. So you need more. And on the end, here I use kernel. So that's the cone. That's glowing in the cone. Just add a little bit of glowing. And the sunbeams is like the sharp edges like this. Sunbeams. If I turn it off, you can see the difference. And a simple start to make this effect much more complex. Compositing is very simple, just to use a lot glare. So as a conclusion, this effect is very simple, and I think it's very beneficial for you to practice this simple effect step by step in geometry node system. It will be very helpful for you to learn geometry node system. And I think that's a whole tutorial. If you like my video, please thumbs up. That will help me a lot. And thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.